I haven't seen my family in 2 years because they covered up my brother's affair with my wife, and now they want me to come back. 730 days. That's exactly how long since I walked out of my childhood home and swore I'd never look back. Some people count years. I count every single day because each one reminds me why I left. My brother and I were close growing up. He was the golden child, the charming one my parents bragged about at church and family gatherings. I was the quiet middle kid working 60-hour weeks at my logistics job while he bounced between business ventures that never made a single dollar. When I met my wife at a friend's barbecue, everything changed. She was finishing nursing school, struggling to pay rent, eating ramen most nights. I told her to move in. Covered everything without question. Rent, groceries, electricity, her entire tuition. $47,000 over 4 years. I didn't care about the money. I loved her more than anything. We got married the summer after she graduated. My brother stood beside me as best man, gave a speech about how I was the most loyal person he knew and deserved happiness more than anyone in our family. 3 years later, my entire world collapsed. The signs were there. I refused to see them. Her study groups ending at midnight. His networking events every Thursday without fail. Both suddenly protective of their phones, always placing them face down whenever I entered the room. One Tuesday, I came home from a work trip early. Flight got rerouted, so I drove the last 4 hours. Her car wasn't in the driveway, but my brother's truck was parked out front. Walked in quiet, figuring he was dropping something off. Found them together in my bedroom. In the bed I saved 3 months to buy. Under sheets I picked out with her at Target. My brother didn't apologize, just stammered, "It's not what it looks like." Like I was stupid. Like I didn't watch my marriage shatter right in front of me. Packed one bag that night, hands shaking the whole time. Stayed at a cheap motel for 9 days. Barely ate anything. When I finally called my mom to tell her, her response destroyed whatever was left of me. "Honey, I know. We've all known for a while now." She knew. Dad knew. My aunt knew. Even my 78-year-old grandmother knew. They covered for them 8 straight months. 8 months of Sunday dinners where everyone smiled at my face and passed the potatoes while knowing my wife was sleeping with my brother. I asked why nobody told me. She said they didn't want to break up the family, like I was the inconvenience. Like my pain was just a problem they needed to manage quietly. Cut everyone off that same day. Changed my number. Moved 600 miles away for a new job. Stopped sending the $2,500 monthly I'd been giving my parents for their mortgage the past 3 years. For 2 years, I rebuilt from nothing. Got promoted twice. Bought a small house with a backyard. Started therapy every Wednesday. Adopted a rescue dog named Murphy, who sleeps at my feet every night and greets me at the door like I'm the best thing he's ever seen. 3 weeks ago, my cousin messages through LinkedIn. Says it's urgent. Family desperately needs me. Almost deleted it. Curiosity won. Turns out my brother married my ex-wife 6 months after I left. My parents threw them a backyard wedding with catering. Used the money I'd been sending for their mortgage to pay for everything. But karma finally arrived. My brother's ventures caught up with him badly. Owes $89,000 to investors threatening lawsuits. IRS opened a full audit. My ex-wife discovered hidden debt and filed for divorce. She's also suing him for forging her signature on loan documents. Gets worse. My parents' house is in foreclosure. They co-signed his failed business loan. 60 days from losing everything they own. Now they want me back. Not to apologize, not to make things right. They want me to pay his debt, save their house, fix everything like I always did. My mom's telling relatives I'm punishing the family over something not that serious. Sent one message. The family died 2 years ago. I'm the only one who noticed. Last week, my brother called from an unknown number. First time hearing his voice in 2 years. Said he was sorry. Made terrible mistakes. Family needs to stick together. Asked one question. Did you love her, or did you just want what was mine? Long silence. Then, I don't know anymore. That told me everything I needed. Hung up, walked Murphy around the block, and slept more peacefully than I had in years. Blood means nothing when it's the same people bleeding you dry. I'm never going back, and for the first time, I feel absolutely no guilt about it.
I witnessed my friend break down after seeing his pregnant girlfriend. My buddy was the last person I'd expect to see crying over a woman. In high school, he was that guy, 6'2", varsity basketball. Girls literally passed him their numbers in the hallway. He kept a shoebox under his bed with at least 30 phone numbers he never called back. Junior year, he dated this girl for exactly 3 weeks. The second she changed her relationship status on Facebook, he ended it. Senior year was worse. I watched him ghost another girl after she bought him a $200 jacket for his birthday. His excuse? She's getting too attached. College didn't change him. He had a system. Never take them to his apartment, never meet their friends, and absolutely never stay the night. I remember asking him once why he was like this, and he just shrugged and said commitment wasn't his thing. But 4 years ago, something shifted. He met this girl at a coffee shop downtown, the one on 5th Street with the terrible Wi-Fi. She was reading a book, and he used his usual line, asked if the seat next to her was taken. She looked up, said yes, and went back to reading. He was stunned. He went back the next day. Same table, same girl, same answer. On the third day, I went with him because I didn't believe this was happening. Sure enough, she shut him down again, this time without even looking up from her book. The barista actually laughed. It took him 2 weeks of showing up before she finally agreed to one coffee. Just coffee. No dinner, no drinks, coffee. And he was genuinely nervous. I'd never seen him nervous about a girl in 10 years of friendship. He changed his shirt twice before leaving. 6 months later, they moved in together. A year after that, he bought a ring. I was his best man at their wedding last September. Last Tuesday, I stopped by their apartment after work around 7 p.m. His girlfriend was 8 months pregnant, due in 3 weeks. I knocked twice, but no answer, so I used the spare key he'd given me. The TV was on, some cooking show playing quietly. She was curled up on their gray sectional couch, wearing one of his old college hoodies that barely fit over her belly anymore. Her hand was resting on top, and I could actually see the baby moving, this weird ripple across her stomach. She was completely knocked out. I called out for my buddy, and he emerged from the kitchen holding 2 beers. He handed me one, then stopped dead in the doorway when he saw his girlfriend sleeping. Just froze. For a solid 10 seconds, he didn't move, didn't blink, just stared. Then I heard this sound, like choking or gasping for air. I thought he was having some kind of medical emergency. When he turned to face me, tears were streaming down his face. Not just watery eyes, full streams running down both cheeks. His shoulders were shaking. This was the same guy who didn't shed a single tear at his grandmother's funeral 2 years ago. The same guy who laughed when his ex keyed his car. I literally did not know his face could make that expression. "You good, man?" I asked, completely lost. He tried to wipe his eyes, but they just kept coming. He set his beer down on the counter and took a shaky breath. "I need to tell you something," he said, his voice cracking on every other word. "Something I've never told anyone." I waited. "Senior year of high school, remember when my dad left?" I nodded. "His parents' divorce was messy. His mom got the house. His dad moved 3 states away. The night before before he left, my mom sat me down at the kitchen table. It was like 11 p.m. and she'd been crying for hours. His hands were shaking now. She told me the real reason he was leaving. He said he never wanted kids, that having me ruined their marriage, that every time he looked at me, he saw everything he'd given up. His career, his freedom, his life. His voice dropped to barely a whisper. She told me my dad left because I exist. I had no idea. We'd been friends for 15 years and he'd never mentioned this. I convinced myself that's just how it works, that one day I'd wake up and resent whoever I was with, that I'd look at my kid and see everything I lost instead of everything I gained. So I never let anyone get close. I sabotaged everything on purpose because I was terrified I'd turn into him. He looked back at his girlfriend, still sleeping peacefully. The baby kicked and her whole belly shifted. But watching her right now, carrying our daughter, his voice broke again. I've never been more sure of anything in my entire life. I'm not him. I'll never be him. This isn't something I'm giving up. He smiled through the tears. This is everything I was supposed to find. I didn't know what to say, so I just stood there. That's my wife, he said, like he still couldn't believe it. That's my daughter in there. In 3 weeks, I'm going to be somebody's dad, and I've never wanted anything more. He wiped his face with his sleeve. I spent 15 years running from this, and it's the only thing that ever mattered. His girlfriend stirred on the couch and opened her eyes. She saw his face and immediately sat up. What's wrong? Is something wrong? He walked over, knelt down, and kissed her forehead. Nothing's wrong, he said. Everything's perfect.